Good morning, everyone. First repeat, Dr. M. Shamir. Today, our guest of honor, Mr. Akash Hettiarachchi, all the lecturers and all the undergraduates. Today, it's a great pleasure to invite you all here for the 7th session of Commerce 101. As I'm sure you all know, Commerce 101 is a project which includes workshop and seminar series organized by Commerce Club of the Department of Commerce and Financial Management. In purpose of the continuous development of commerce undergraduate, today we are stepping into session 1.6, interview preparation. Our resource person for the day is Mr. Akash Hettiarachchi, General Manager, Human Resources Brandex Apparel Solution Limited. He holds a Masters of Philosophy in Green Human Resources Management in Queensland University of Technology and Masters of Law in Cardiff Metropolitan University and a Masters of Business Administration at the same university. Also, he has completed his bachelor's degree in Accounting and Finance in CMA, Australia, and bachelor's degree in Human Resource Management, Personal Administration in Chartered Institute of Personal Management. Mr. Hettiarachchi has more than 10 years of experience in apparel industry with leading companies in Sri Lanka. So, Mr. Akash Hettiarachchi, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, and good morning to all of you. It's a great privilege that I got an invitation from your university. So, before start the session, it's feel free to ask any questions because, as I said that, I have studied at University of Sri Jayewardenepura in pass out in 1999, so very old. And as Apsara correctly said that I have few masters and professional qualifications as well. On top of that, 2013 I won the Best HR Professional Award in Sri Lanka. So started my HR career. I was in different companies in International Federation of Red Cross and then Dialogue. So 2006. So being a professional in finance. So I was originally in finance, but unfortunately, 2006, I met one of the CEO, and he changed my career to HR in 2007. So last 15 plus years. So total my experience was 20 odd years, but 15 plus years I was really engaged with HR. So wasn't in my mind when I was at university. So but I just want to be a professional accountant, but fortunately or fortunately it has changed now, being in HR. So I remember that even I'm being in my university, we had the same kind of a lecture series, guest lecture series. So Mrs. Manuratna, who was in head of HR in HNB. So she has done the same presentation which I'm going to do today for us. So I remember that in 1998, yes. So it was in physically in front of her. So we were like a small kids, and some of the things are really even we were not able to capture it. So today the time has gone, and so I'm in that seat. So heading HR. Now today I'm going to share some of my experiences. So basically my main idea, I don't want to put you on a trouble and saying that, so interview you have to be really careful and you have to take very serious on that and all, not that. I'll share some of my experiences, where it went wrong and what is the expectation of the panel and how we are going to sell yourself. Basically my main idea is, really you should know that what are the key points you can sell yourself, how much you can get ready that when you are going to, because interview is I'm generally defined that interview is a selling point, that so you are going to sell yourself. So how good you are on selling, that finally, whether you are getting the job or whether you are getting selected or not, will give that whether you are success or not. So let me share my screen first. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So this is my little profile. As I said that. So and my work experience, if I get that. So I have been in MS Holdings for 10 years. Then I went to Pakistan as a head of HR. And then I was in Kenya and Ethiopia as a regional head of HR in Africa region in Hella Clothing. Now I'm in Brandix. So I'm in all three apparel companies, MS, Hella Clothing, and Brandix. So I'm heading the lingerie section. So our operations is in Sri Lanka and India. So layout is, yes, I'll start from the, I'm not going to discuss about the how to prepare the CV. That's a different kind of a thing. But I'll touch that. Your interview is starting with the CV, right? So when you're applying the CV, so that point onward, your interview is processing, not the your physical interview, right? So I just want to start from that. So we'll go through that one by one, the sections. How to prepare for an interview and what are the ethics and what is the expectation of the interview board and what are the common questions, common mistakes, right? Then special tips and do's and don'ts and different stages of interview and usual ends. So most of the time, how you are going to ending the interview is very important, right? So we'll go for the question and answer session later. So basically, when I get the CV, so there are two kind of CVs we are getting in: good CVs and bad CVs. If you don't have a proper CV, if you have not marketed yourself through your CV, what will happen is you are without your intention, you are getting rejected. Very unfortunate. Most of the time, why your CV is going to be a bad CV? Because you are going to copy paste your CV from somebody else's one, right? I remember a few things. I'll tell one thing. One of my colleague who was in the production manager, assistant manager production. So he has copied someone's profile to his profile. Then the very common mistakes doing it. So and send the CV to one of the companies. So most of the people, they think that, right, okay, profile and the things, nobody's reading those things. Don't worry about that. But fortunately, the managing director, he has read this, and some of the very unique word, he asked, what do you mean by it? Unfortunately, the candidate doesn't know even the meaning of that word he has used to describe his profile, right? So what it says itself, your CV itself says that you are not the person who has prepared your CV. Even though it doesn't matter, you can get expertise or you can get somebody's help, but you read your CV. So some people are not reading their own CV. They just send it. If somebody asks the question, only they know that, oh my goodness, that's been in my CV. So be careful of the CV and don't, most of the time you guys like to have a nice CV with picture and the multicolors and all these kind of things. That's not the thing you are looking for. What are the things you want to be highlighted in your CV, right? Some people want to highlight your innovative mindset. Sometimes you want to highlight your professional exposure. Sometimes you want to show your research background. Right now, as an example, the academic CV and professional CV is two different, right? So academic CV is more toward the research and the your education background and the, your education achievements. So those kind of things need to be highlighted in that CV. But in a professional CV, it's more towards your experience, exposure, and the area you have covered. And your CV should be not more than 2 pages. If your CV goes more than 3 pages, 2 pages, it says that nobody is going to read that. Because yes, when your CV goes to a head of HR or CEO or one of the senior manager in the company, they are getting a bunch of CVs. So they don't have time to go through all the 5-6 pages CV. You can have a 4-5 page CV in your academic. If you apply for academic, yes, definitely, because most of the time interview is very limited. Last interview is going to be happen. Everything happen through the, if you're applying for foreign university or if you're applying for some academic job in foreign, generally they will do all the evaluations through the CV. But in professional, in a private sector, your CV just to be get an idea that whether relevant qualification, relevant experience is available or not. So don't put okay, right. So as I said that the good CVs and bad CVs. So I'm not going to be touch all the areas, but I just want to tell you that you have to be really careful about your CV. Don't put unnecessary things. And other one is 2 pages. Your CV should be 2 pages, not more than 2 pages. Then, so third one is you have to grab the attention through CV, right? It should be professional CV, right? It should be a professional CV. Don't have a unnecessary wording. Some people are sending them, I have these skills. Some are not relevant, some are relevant, and it's totally dilute your value of your CV. So in your CV, just put only the relevant things, right? Don't copy and paste somebody's CV which is not relevant to you. Or else, even though you're using somebody's template, so use it as per your requirement. So don't have a long profile writing, like half a page profile writing. Don't do that. Only 3 or 4 lines. Sure. Summarize that. What kind of a person are you? How many years experience you are having? What is the area your expertise on? So just to be 3-4 lines, no more than that. Other very careful area is keep photographs. So most of the candidates ask, do I want to put the photograph or not? So in different countries, I don't have an answer yes or no, but what will happen is most of the countries, they said that don't put your profile picture, because it's sometimes with the profile picture, people will go for the judgments, right? That's badly affected you, so badly influenced when we shortlist the CV. So it's not a compulsory, it's not necessary, but if you really want, you have to be careful how we are going to have it. So specifically remember that it's not your Facebook selfies, right? Most of the time, people put some Facebook kind of photos, right? It should be a professional photo, like a passport photograph, right? If you really want, it's not a necessary. Again, I'm emphasizing it's not necessary, but if you feel that it's okay to put that, yeah, you have to dress professionally, and it should be on your upper body, right? Some people are putting more than the upper body, so that, and facial expression should be professional type of, right? No any props and all. So, and hair and makeup should be natural, not the over makeup, right? So don't have the photographs when you are going to, especially the ladies, when you are going to the weddings, the makeup what you are putting over there, don't put it to that photographs into your CV, right? So then another one thing I want to tell you in your CV, please, you have to mention your LinkedIn profile, right? Generally, whenever I'm getting my CV, if I have a doubt, so I just go to the I'm just getting a character certificate. You might ask that, so how you are going to get the character certificate without having my approval? Yeah, easy way to get the character certificate is your Facebook, right? Just type your name and see your Instagram or Facebook. We can see that lot of your personal characteristics, right? So most of the HR people, they just check your profile through the Facebook. Be careful. But to avoid that, if you don't want to use that, you have to give the LinkedIn, your LinkedIn link, because that's the professional way you can see that. If you want to see my profile, the LinkedIn is the best profile, best way you can see my profile. So I'm advising you, when you're preparing your CV, specifically use the LinkedIn, especially mention the LinkedIn, right? Okay, when we go to the preparation for an interview, now, as I said that your process of interviewing is not starting from the first day of interview. So start from the day of your applying. So some sort of a background work will happen with your CV, right? So that's why I'm saying that important your CV to be get among the, as example, I'll give the, when I apply in a final, you know that all of us are been in a final year student, so we just apply, right? All the relevant, irrelevant, all the jobs we apply. So I got selected for one of the finance company. So every day there's board of interview panel. There was one lady, managing director's wife. She's one of the senior manager. She always tell me that I got my, why they have selected my CV, because among all the people, fresh graduates and the management degree, they have requested the management degree, the graduate. So among them, so they got good 500 CVs. So they have to get only 3 people. Among 500 people, to select 3 people, it's really difficult. So then what she said was, you got this chance because of your name. Because my name is Akash Brindley Hettiarachchi. It's a very odd name in my age of person. It's a very odd name. So she said that she just want to see that who's this person who's having this abnormal name. That's how I got that job, right? So sometimes it will happen, right? So what I want to tell you, you can't change your name, but what you have to do is you have to find it out, the special skill among others. Now just imagine that the final year student, all final year students applied. How we are going to get highlighted your CV among them? It's very important. It's very important, right? Sometimes because of your profile description. Sometimes all people are having the same qualification, but you are having some additional one, or else your extracurricular is having some of a weightage on that. So that's how you are getting selected. So after you get shortlisted, so company will call you for the first interview, right? So if it is a first interview or the second interview or a final interview, these things are very important. Don't face for the interview without researching on the company background. You should have minimum what kind of a business they are doing, in which countries are they working. Now, if you are coming to the Brandix, you should know that Brandix is having how many clusters. If you go to MS, you should have an understanding that whether you are going to Intimate cluster, or whether you are going to Active cluster, or whether you are going to Krida, or whether you are going to Aqua. So there are different clusters. So those different clusters, business model also different. So I'm not saying that you to have a vast knowledge, but basic knowledge. But if you are going to MS, Intimate, you should know that who are the customers they are dealing with, end customers. Are they working with the Nike? Are they working with the Victoria's Secret? Are they working with the Gap? So what are the customers they are handling? That's very important, right? It doesn't matter, even though you are marketing, even though you are HR, even though what, you should know that to whom the company is catering. right? Which company, with what customers company are working? What are the main business, right? What is the turnover? What is the number of employees in the organization? Those kind of informations will give you some confidence, give some kind of a confidence that you are ready, right? And you know that what you're going to talk. And if they ask some question, you can be just align that answer with the purpose of the business. Because ultimately, in an interview, what we are looking for, whether you are fit to the organization or not, right? So you're fit to the organization or not can be monitored, the understanding what you're having about the business, right? Sometimes some of the people, when they come to the interview, ask that, do you have any apparel experience? Do you know that what is the apparel business is, how it's happening? No, I don't know. I don't have any exposure, nothing, right? So have you heard about this? Yes, I heard about Brandix, but nothing else, right? So if you take the key companies in Sri Lanka, right? MAS, Brandix, Dialog, Hemas. So those kind of bigger companies. So generally people know that some basic things even, right? How much revenue they are getting, especially as a university student, they know that how much revenue they are contributing to the company, to the country, and how much jobs they have created. Those are very generic things. So even you don't have understanding on those things, that might be a unnecessary highlight your general knowledge and your readiness, right? Especially your readiness. So have some discussion. Sometimes you can find a person who is working in the company and have a 5-minute, 10-minute chat, right? Just to get an idea, just to have a chat and see that what's your company doing, right? So nothing to lose. Then profile of interview panel, very important. So now you will ask from me, where can we get the profiles? You can get the profile from LinkedIn, very easy, right? So whenever I'm going for an interview, I generally thoroughly studying the interview panel, and I'm asking very specifically from the person who called me and arranged the interview. I'm asking who are going to be representing the interview panel, right? Because it's very important. You should know that their background, right? What kind of a person are they? So there are two kind of interviews can be happen, right? When you are going for a management training or graduate training or a kind of those are very formal interviews. But remember that now, just imagine this company is going to hire a head of HR. That interview is not a formal interview. Might be happening in a coffee shop, right? Might be happening in a very informal way, because they know that exactly this profile. So they just want to have a discussion. Knowing the profile only, they will interview the person. So as a fresh graduate, so you should know that who are the people being in the interview panel. Most of the time, 2 or 3 people might be, and getting a knowledge about their profile and education background and exposure will give you very comfortability, right? That Confi will very much support you to perform in the interview in front of the interview panel. Then please inform to your referees before you go to interview, because we have experienced sometimes reference call happens. Some people think that the reference is calling after the interview. No, there can be reference calling happen before the interview as well, right? So please keep inform your referees. Just send a text even and tell that, so I'm going for this interview, and they might have called you, right? Otherwise, what will happen is some of the people, iconic people you all are using as a referees, they might have forgot your name, right? Or else they are not ready. So just keep them informed before you go to the interview, because most of the time, even before interview or just after the interview, we check reference. And other thing is practice with yourself or someone else. Right? Because what will happen is, now I'll give a good example. In 2005, 2010. So I just want to recruit some management trainees from, generally we are getting from Morto University, but Morto University is highly competitive because everybody wants to get the people from Morto University. So I just want to test with some different universities. So I just reached to the Ruhnu University and physical science batch. So I just get them invited some of the lecturers to have a chat with us and how we can get the management trainees from them. So I got some CVs. I have selected with the extracurricular activities and everything. I have selected 6 people for the interview. I remember 6 people. Very good profile. Yeah, CV was really good and excellent. But once they come to the interview, right, they are not prepared at all. They don't know about MS. At that time I was at MS. They don't know about MS. They don't know about the panel, and they are not ready to answer anything. When we ask them to tell about, general question is starting from yourself, right? So when we ask them to tell about yourself, they don't know that what to tell and what not to tell. And sometimes the unfortunate thing is very basic English. Even they can't manage to explain themselves in an English, right? So that's a really pathetic situation. So they are science graduates, right? Physical science graduates. So if you have a problem, right? So you have to, even in explaining yourself, you practice with somebody else, right? So it should not be the grade 5 student telling about yourself. It should be a graduate who can express yourself, right? So remember that two different, because when we ask you to tell about yourself, we are not most of the time starting from I'm so and so, I have these, the same CV repeating, but we are not expecting that. We are not expecting that because we have already read your CV. We don't want to you to read your CV again. What we expect from you is to highlight some of your key competencies, your key achievements. So remarkable things in your life, right? Which is very important to get selected for this job. So you are getting 1 or 2 minutes to explain yourself. But unfortunately, what will happen is you just going through your CV, same thing. You are just like a newsreader, just repeating your CV. That's not the thing we are expecting. We just want you to market yourself, right? How to market yourself is the important part. So among other candidates, so what is your importance? You have to explain that, and you have to express that. And second thing is, while you are applying for many jobs, sometimes you are not keeping the job advertisement. You forget that I have applied for 50 jobs. If I got a one interview, so I don't know that what kind of a job is that, and nothing. You are not ready. So whenever you are getting invitation for the interview, first you have to find the advertisement and read. There are 2 parts in the advertisement. One is summary JD, job description, and job specification. So job specification means what are the things we are expecting you to perform in this job. That's a job specification. We are expecting sometimes degree or professional qualification or language ability. So those kind of things are the specifications. Right? These are the specifications you need to have it in your profile before you apply, right? And job description is what you have to do. So what is the company is expecting you to do after you join? So these two areas very important, very important. JD and JS, you have to have that summary JD and the summary job specification and summary job description in the advertisement. So that two parts you have to be read properly, because that's the thing you are going to discuss with your panel, and they will going to check with you when you are going to face the interview. Next, so ethics, interview ethics. So nowadays, most of the interview goes in the virtual, right? Virtual. So I'll give you some example. Last month, 1 month before, there was one person came for an interview as a graduate trainee. So his age, you will really wonder in that 19 years, right? And completes his degree. So at the age of 19, he has completed his degree from the Royal College and came for an interview. So I have switched on my video, and my CEO also with me. And generally when I'm switching on the video, so my CEO also switch on the video, but candidates must switch off the video, right? So I started the interview, and I just asked a few questions about him. He just give the answers yes and no, nothing else, right? So I asked that, can you explain about your educational background? What area you are, what are the areas you have specialized on? I have done marketing. That's it. That's the answer. So okay, what kind of a marketing areas you have done it in your degree? So it's the syllabus in the marketing. That's it, right? So few questions I also get fed up, right? So my CEO said that, Akash, can you wait for a while? Can you give 2 minutes to me? So he's also from Royal. So this innocent guy also from the Royal, same school. So he said that, first of all, head of HR and the CEO has already switched on the cameras. Sorry. So you are already. So already you are almost failed because you have not switched on your camera. Can you switch on the camera? So okay, he has dressed well and camera on. Then when he wants me to repeat a question, he just said that, can you repeat the question, right? And my CEO said that you are talking to the head of HR, right, who's responsible for this the 7,000, 8,000 employees, and you can't use even the please. Can you please repeat it? Right? Where's your courtesy? Your courtesy is not there. Those are the experience we are getting in sometimes. So people doesn't have the courtesy, and they are not switch on the cameras, and they are not ready. Sometimes not dressed well. Dress well means we don't expect people to have a tie and the coat and all these kind of things, but should be smart. Should be smart, right? Especially shave properly. And if you are a girl, you have to have your basic makeup in, right? So because that gives you a first impression, right? Your first impression is more important. You to start a good conversation in an interview. It's very important to have that first impression, right? Then second thing is you have to be logging in 5 minutes before, right? Otherwise, every meeting in my life, wherever I go, I try my best to go 5 minutes before, because it gives me a very comfy, right? I'm very comfortable. If I'm getting late, I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable. So already I'm being in a trouble. So virtual interviews, be careful, because it's tougher than the physical interview. Virtual interview, because some of the things which we can identify in the physical interview, we are not able to identify in the virtual interview. So we are very keen about how we are going to judge this person. So camera on and you have to be ready and 5 minutes before, and be careful about your vocabulary, right? Be careful about your vocabulary, what's the vocabulary you are going to use it, and don't talk too much. I'll give another example. Last week I had a I was just looking for some of the lean executive, assistant manager lean, obviously. So one guy who had more than 10 years experience applied for this one. He passed first interview, second interview, and came for a third interview. So final interview with me and the CEO. And when we do the interview, we generally ask them to be switch on the camera. We have seen that he's inside the car, right? So when you face an interview, so he said that I'm on my way to office. I'm doing this interview. So you don't want to do those kind of interviews because he failed, because he was not ready, right? And he has not given that the respect to the interview panel, because if you, while you are knowing that you are having interview, you can take some 1 hour, 1 hour, 2 hour short leave from the office and face for the interview, right? That's one thing. And second thing, when we ask the question, sometimes we ask one question, he's answering our next questions as well, but we are not expecting that. Too much explanation might be a reason for you to fail the exam, fail the interview. Because if one of the senior person who's been in the interview panel asks question, be specific. Don't go to tell all your expectations, right? Or all, whatever thing in your mind, don't go to be converted into the word. Just give a specific thing. As example, now if the interview panel is asked from you, okay, why do you want to select the Brandix? What is the special reason for that? Any special reason you have selected this company? Sometimes people are giving 10 minutes to answer. No, what we want is 2-3 points, right? One, you can tell that stability of the company. So we know that Brandix is one of the stabilized companies in Sri Lanka. So I want to get my career through one of the stabilized company. So that's why the Brandix. Or else you can say that, yes, few of my colleagues are working over there and their feedback. So Brandix is giving the very good opportunity for the training and a very good opportunity for people to freely perform. So I like to work in a culture like that. So that's the reason I have applied. 1 or 2, more than enough. Rather than telling stories and stories, it's my school level dream and all this, those are not relevant. Those are not relevant. We ask that question from you just to get to know that whether you have an understanding about the company, right? And one of the other common question, after 5 years, where do you want to see yourself? So people will tell us stories. No, what we expect from you, whether you have a vision in your life, right? So before you contribute to the company vision, right, to achieve the company vision, you need to have your own vision. It should be tally with the company vision, right? Should be tally with the company vision. So the question, you have to be understood and don't give unnecessary information. Just only give the necessary information. Sometimes the unnecessary information give a question mark. Unnecessary information will give a question mark. That will sometimes give you a unfavorable decision, right? So other thing is, if you don't know the answer, don't go to lie, right? Be careful on this. Be very, very much careful, because there are some questions interview board will ask, very familiar questions. You know that exactly, so you can specifically answer. But if you don't know that, if you don't know that, don't try your, don't go and tell some stories which is lying, right? Because what will happen is, generally interview panel knows the answer very well. Before they ask the question, they know the answer. right? If you are starting lying, they will understand that, okay, your integrity is not good, right? You are not telling the truth. If you don't know, you don't know. I don't know. That's it. That's nothing to, don't think that once you say that I don't know the answer of this, or else you can say that for the moment I'm not aware, but I can find it, right? So if you don't know, tell that you don't know, rather than going to tell the lies and put yourself on trouble. Then listen carefully. Very common mistake done by the most of the participants. They, before end of the question, they are starting answering, right? Let interview panel to complete the question, because sometimes don't be panic. Don't be panic. Just listen. If it is not clear, ask. I'm not sorry. I'm not clear. Can you repeat it? So just get the ask interview panel to repeat it if you have missed it, if you are not clear that, right? So it's very important to be focusedly listen. Interview is going to be half an hour, maximum 45 minutes, right? Most probably half an hour. So keep your concentration on that. Don't get any disturbance. If you are not comfortable to answer in English, you can ask the permission to use your mother tongue, right? Sometimes sometimes you know the answer, but if you are going to tell it in English, it might be a confusion. You are not able to be clearly said that what you want to tell that. You can excuse and say that shall I answer in Sinhala? It doesn't matter, right? Because this is not the language test. This is an interview. But generally in private sector, we prefer to get people who can speak English, because otherwise you are not able to perform in your job. So you need to have a basic knowledge. You need to have a basic understanding of English. But we are not expecting the UK or USA posh English, right? And if you're not comfortable, rather than if you feel that no, I'm not comfortable to tell this in English, so better to ask permission to use your own language. That doesn't matter at all. Okay. So then the other thing is, interview board is having some expectations, right? So there's a very common way to be started. As I said that, you have to get prepared for explain yourself, because it's a very common question. No, very first time asked when somebody comes to interview. So we ask that, okay, can you put brief explanation about your strengths, right? And why you are suitable for this position. So give something about yourself. Remember, if you are not prepared, you are going to start your kindergarten myself story, right? Your kindergarten myself story is the very common way to be people introduce themselves. So in the very first few seconds, few minutes, the panel is going to lose their confidence level about you, right? So it's like a singing competition, right? How we are going to grab the attention in the very first 2-3 minutes. We know that whether this interview is going to be successful or not, right? Being in for last 15 years, been in different kind of interviews. So within very first 5 minutes, we know that this is going to be work or not. If it is properly settled in the very first 5 minutes, this flow is going to be changed, right? So it's very important how we are going to lay your foundation, right? So for that, you have to get ready, right? Don't think that, okay, I know English very well, so they ask something I can. Don't think that. Don't think that. If you are not ready, interview panel, because you are getting a golden half an hour to sell yourself to one of the leading companies in Sri Lanka or foreign, wherever. So you're getting a golden half an hour to see. Remember that to select for this half an hour, there are a lot of background works will happen. Many applications comes, among that you are getting selected, and your application is going through a processes and everything to come to this level. Especially when it comes to final interview, there might be interview panel might be listened to many more people, right? You might be the last one, or else among the few finalists, you are the first one. So how we are going to keep some remarkable level of note with the interview panel? It's a question mark. So most of the time, they start this conversation. They just want to be comfortable. So they will give you a question, say that, okay, just say that why you are suitable for this this position, why you have applied for this position, why you, not others. Among all the people who have applied, why you? Why we want to recruit you? So you have to tell something remarkable, right? It's something remarkable, which is very interesting to the party who has who's interviewing you, right?
Sir, you are muted.
Something went wrong. Okay, right. So one of the very common question, starting from that, to give you a level of confidence, you give you a chance to build the level of confidence, right? So that's a chance for you. So that's the preparation is very important for this first part, right? Ask from one of your friend, ask from one of your colleague or whoever been in the industry, whether this introduction is attractive or not, right? So prepare for introduction about yourself. So then you can score during the first length. First 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you can score yourself. So you have to tell whatever the very important 3-4 points within your first length, right? Your experience and your, especially like a graduate trainees or management trainees, we are looking for your extracurricular activity contribution. Why is that? Because your academic qualification, we know that, okay, we are looking for a marketing degree holder. We are looking for finance degree holder. So that's a basic. But when it comes to extracurricular, if you have done your sports, if you have worked with some societies, and if you have a different profile in a different kind of associations in the organization, in a university level, school level, those are the ways you can show your personality, your attitudes, right? So especially in interview, the research says that you recruit a person for attitude and you can develop the skills, doesn't matter. Even though skill is having a gap, you can train them, doesn't matter. But attitude can't change. Really difficult to change attitude. So generally, if your attitude is not good, we are not going to recruit you. So one of the things we are looking out of your competencies, so your attitude is the key. So that's the first thing in your first few words, first few minutes, you have to prove your attitude is correct. How we are going to do that? With your explanation, right? So you can say that you have worked with the team and you are a team player and you have given the leadership for these areas. So those are, sometimes those will give the very good platform panel to think about you, right? And third thing is technical questions. Sometimes very, very technical questions. If you are going for a finance interview, they will ask that something about your cash flow statement or your experience about the preparing P&L. And sometimes they will ask some of the questions that, so strategic finance management, how it's going to work. So likewise, some theoretical part also will ask. Or else just imagine that if you're going to a job like a fabric technology, right? So you are going to take as a graduate training, but train for the fabric technology. So we just look for your knowledge about the material and your scientific background, and how about your background about the chemistry, physics, and those kind of things you are looking for, right? So technical things, according to the job. So those technical questions, be careful. If you don't know, tell that you don't know the answer. Don't. If you want to give a assume answer, you said that I don't know the answer, but I assume that this might be the answer. Right? According to my, I'm not fully comfortable to give the answer, but I can. This might be the. Sorry, this might be the answer. So then, leadership attributes. That's a one of the area we are specifically looking for. Again, as I said, that the technical we can train, right? We are not expecting from a graduate, fresh graduates to have a strong technical background, right? In some certain levels, we just look about the general technical knowledge, but not but leadership attributes. We just check with your extracurricular activities. It meaningless that even though you are having a first class degree or second upper, right? It's meaningless that if you have not done anything with the outside, if you don't know that how to deal with the society, if you have never deal with the other people, right? So some of your experiences, exposure, how you have worked during your school period or during your uni level, that is very important. And language ability, as far as I know, that we all know that your mother tongue is not English, but you need to have a reasonable English. As I said, the Ruhunu University, when I got these 6 or 7 candidates, so I asked one person to tell that what are the challenges you have gone through up to now in your life. That's a question I have asked from them. He said, no, sir, I have not gone through any difficulties in my. But this person was in Monaragala. He was in Tanamalvila, if I'm not, still I remember that. And he got, he passed scholarship, and he's not even Tanamalvila, he was in Hambegamu somewhere. And he came to Tanamalvila after he passed his, scholarship exams. Then he came to some other national school in Mathura area for his O-levels and A-levels, and he came to the Moroto University. So his father is a farmer. So when I asked that what are the challenges you have gone through, he said that no, I don't have any challenges. I didn't have anything. I was really wondering that, because he's not comfortable in his language. So he doesn't know that how to explain it. So when we change the language and ask from Sinhala, he said that yes, mage tatta mehemai, amma mehemai, mamme amaruwen thamai medanta aave me tibba. But sometimes because of your language ability is not there. That's why I'm saying that even for starting point, don't show that you don't know anything about the language. So try your best to be the part 1, the common part 1. Tell about yourself. Get ready that it in the proper way. Use the proper language and the proper way, and get ready and come. Middle of the interview, if you are getting stuck, you can say that, okay, shall I answer in Sinhala? It doesn't matter, because we have already checked your language ability from the beginning. Right? In middle of, you can do something different, or you can ask, you can convert that to another language. Doesn't matter. But remember that in the first part, you have to show your language ability. After you do 20-24 subjects, right? And most of you are doing English medium as well. So, but when you are going to interview, it's really difficult you to be expert. So other one is we try to judge your personality. Personality is not your height or weight or whatever, right? How much you're confident, right? How much you're confident, and how much you're how much you can contribute to the company in a leadership level, right? As example, now just say that if you're having a good personality, we know that, okay, you can handle the customers. In front of customers, you're not getting shaky, right? So we know that with your strong personality, we can develop you a customer handling. or else we can develop you for some certain levels to be deal with the outsiders, because all in every organization, every job is having a part of internal, part of external, right? You are dealing with external parties as well as internal parties. So we look at how much you are confident enough to deal with the outsiders, because you are going to represent company as ambassador. So when you are going to represent the company in outside, you are going with our values. So if it is a brand, it's the brand X values. If it's MS values. So you are the person who take that. So your personality is very important. So personality is not your height, not your weight, or not your physical appearance, whether you are beautiful or handsome. That's not count for your personality, right? So your personality means it's not your fair or dark or whatever. How much you are confident when you are delivering, right? So sometimes you don't know. You can say that, okay, the company will ask from you, okay, how can you contribute to have a better P&L to the company, right? You don't know that how for the moment, but you can say that, I know that the company is doing apparel business, or else company is doing a communication business. So I'm good sure that with my contribution, I can enhance service level of the company. So, I'm a fast learner. So I can learn the company culture, and I can bring the company values to the next level, or else I can bring the company values and cater to the customers. So that's your confidence level. So you know that who you are and what are the areas you can perform in. So then show your natural behavior, right? So we just want to get your natural behavior, not artificial behavior. Some people, they try to show your extra personality, right? So being in interview panel for a long time, so once you talk, we can identify it's a natural or you are showing something differently, right? It should be a natural behavior. Show your natural behavior. Show everybody is having a very iconic kind of a features. So utilize those things, right? We are not expecting you to be like other person. We want the person as it is, right? As it is. So show your natural behavior. So, and sometimes companies asking about your family background. Very common in Sri Lanka. Generally in other countries, they are not asking whether you are married or are you going to be, do you have any plan to be married, or do you have a kids, or are you going to have a different kind of a, what is your future plan for your marriage? Those kind of questions are not asking in the other countries, but unfortunately, those kind of things are asking in Sri Lanka. Why is that? Because we don't want to know that whether your father or mother rich. That's not the question. Most of the organization will ask your family background. So just want to see that whether you're having a commitments, right? Just imagine that you are being in Kandy and you're applying job in Colombo. How flexible you are being relocated. So whether you are flexible to relocate or not, right? Sometimes some girls are saying that, no, I can't relocate and I have a problem and all this. So that kind of a people might be a problem. So sometimes we just want to know that whether you are independent or not. In Sri Lanka, generally, even the people are reaching 2025, they are not independent, right? Ammagen ahala kiyanna, taattagen ahala thamai meka kiyanna ona. So that's a kind of your personality issue. So that's why we are just checking your family background. Nothing to be highlight on your family background, but we just want to know that whether you are independent or not. It's very important you show that your independency, right? Because once after you join, we are not giving we can't do the babysitting, right? For the day one onward, you are being in a business, right? Not a welfare company. So you have to contribute and you have to develop and you have to deliver. If not, So that's why we ask those kind of questions. Up to now, do you have any questions before I move to the other session? If you're having any questions up to now, I can answer that.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, Ravidu.
Sir, do we show our independency or no, sir?
Sorry, tell me again.
Do we show our independency in the interview?
Yes, that's why I'm saying that the independent mean you are not you are an elder, right? So when you come to a company, so you can't say that, okay, I have my family family issues, and my father doesn't like to do a job here, and my mother doesn't like, my grandmother is having another problem. Those kind of things we are not entertaining, because what we expect from you, you decided to join to this company, right? And you have a proper understanding about the organization, you have a proper understanding about the operation, and you have a proper understanding of your own work job role. So that's why we just want to know that whether you are independent or not. So if you are too much dependent on your parents or too much dependent on your family, sometimes it might be a problem for your job. Got my point, Ravidu?
Got it, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Okay. So let's move to the other. If you have a questions, you can raise your hand, or you can unmute your mic and ask the questions. There's don't worry about that. So then during the interview, so there might be some few tips, right? If it's a physical interview, eye contact is very important, right? Most of the very common mistake, people can't talk while keeping eye contact in Sri Lanka. Unfortunate. That's totally different. They will talk to you with the eye contact, right? With the eye contact. So remember that physical interview, eye contact is a must. Virtual bit of a difficult, but physical eye contact is a must. It shows that your personality again, right? Your eye contact, it shows your personality, how much you're confident in, right? How much you are. If you are not seeing the interview panel properly, that means you try to hide something, and you are not that much of confident. So that's the understanding of the interview panel, and build the connectivity through that. So interview is a flow. There's no structure. Generally, very rarely we are having a very structured interview, right? So structured means it's a bit of a semi-structured interview. So we, according to the answers you are giving, we will change our nature of the questions, right? So what is the next question is depend on your previous answer, right? If once you answer it, so your next question will be start with. So with the connectivity with the board. If there are 2 parties, 3 parties, you should know that who's covering what area. Now just imagine that if my CEO, my head of manufacturing, and myself been in interview. So we generally, my part is to be behavioral side of employee and the leadership styles. Those are the things I'm looking for as HR point of view. Manufacturing head, he is looking for the technical aspect of it. Whether you have the knowledge about the how is your technical knowledge about the relevant job. Then the CEO is generally looking the overall fit to the company, whether you are getting fit or not. So you have to have some kind of a connectivity with all the people, right? So don't expect that this person will ask a question, then next person will ask the question and other person. No, it might be a mix of that. It depends on the it's depend on the purpose of their each person is asking for a question. Generally, if there's 2 or 3 people being in interview board, they have a different purposes. So just try to understand why he's asking this question. If a head of HR is asking that question, it's asking in a different way. If a head of manufacturing asks that question, the same question might be expected in a different way, because the purpose, the subject expertise, we are telling the subject's expertise, that if the head of manufacturing or head of supply chain or kind of a person being in that interview, he's a subject expertise, right? He's a subject expertise. So he asking the question to be gauge your knowledge about the subject, right? But if HR person is there, head of HR or somebody there, he mostly do the observation, right? He mostly do the observation. So be careful on that, because finally he's not talking much, but he's observing a lot. So CEO, most of the time CEO is trying to figure it out where you can fix it to the organization and whether you can deliver the expectations. Because this is not a welfare center, the business, how much you can contribute and how much you are trainable. One of the area we are looking for, how much you are trainable. It doesn't matter that you don't have a knowledge. Just imagine that if you don't have a knowledge, but if you have a keen to learn, if you are a person hunger to the knowledge, you can show that with the examples, right? You can show that, yeah, yes, I'm a very good, rather than you are just telling that in your CV, I'm a team player. So tell something about how did you become a team player. This is the example. I have played in cricket and I have lead my cricket team. So the different kind of 11 to 15 people I have look after. So that's my exposure. So I'm the head of Commerce Society. So I have, as a president of the Commerce Society, I have handled these projects. So that's examples. Rather than you are telling I'm a team player, tell some examples to keep the connectivity. So the other thing is, try to understand the background of the panel, right? And what kind of a person are they? So most of the time you can see that they might have some personal interest, right? Sometimes the CEO is a cricket player, right? He has played for the first 11 team. Sometimes he might be the rugby captain in his school life. You can find those things very easily through the Facebook or the LinkedIn or whatever the social media. Nowadays the info are available about the people, especially the key people who have been in the industry. Right? So just try to understand themselves. Then identify the key decision maker. That's very, very important. Don't think that CEO. Sometimes you really think that out of the, okay, just there are 3 people. CEO is there, the head of operations is there, and the HR head of there. You think that the CEO is going to be the decision maker? No. Right? There might be one person always the decision maker. Either you can get that information from one of the person inside the organization and ask that, yeah, who's going to be the influencer, right? The most of the time head of HR, right? CEO and all other people listen to the head of HR because they know that head of HR is having some experience, exposure to identify the people. That's the specialty head of HR is having. So most of the time, I'm not telling 100%, but most of the time, key influencer for the decision is the head of HR. Right? Because CEO or whoever person who's been in that heading the interview panel, finally after the interview, we are having a post-interview discussion. So at that person, as I said, that the head of HR is the observer, so he will give his feedbacks. So that will influence a lot of most of the time to take the final decision. So it's very important to be identified who are the culprit in this interview panel, right? Who's going to be mostly influenced the decision of the final interview, right? That's you have to find it out. As I said that you can find it out from the internal sources as well. If you're having a friend of there, you can ask who's going to be the main influencer. So you have to have a, just to gain trust and command respect, right? So you have to, again, I'm telling that you are going to sell yourself. So how you are going to build the trust with the interview board is the key, right? And how we are going to get the respect of the interview board, how we are going to get the trust is very important. Select real life examples that display the key hiring traits, right? So, okay, the most of the time, rather than just to tell the words, right? Because interview panel doesn't want to listen unnecessary things. They want the facts to show that you are competent enough. Just say that when I'm going to, when I'm being in the panel, right? So somebody will come and say that, okay, I'm a very much keen about that to get the new knowledge. I have an innovative mindset. I have a very innovative thinking pattern. Those are words, no? Those are just a word. But the second question comes from the interview panel. Can you give some examples of course? So rather than waiting into panel is asking examples, if you can tell that, I'm an innovative thinker. So last year in our university, this exhibition, so I have done this much of a presentation. So that was got selected for this level. Some example, but don't lie, tell the truth. But if in your CV or if anywhere else you are saying you are an innovative thinker, you have to give the examples in your interview. If you are saying you are a very good leader, you have to give the example on that. If you are saying I'm out of the box thinker, you have to give the example. How we are going to assess it? Otherwise, if you don't have the examples, that means it's just a story. We are not expecting once upon a time stories in the interview, because we have heard many once upon a time stories, right? You know the once upon a time stories now. So we have heard a lot of things. Those once upon a time stories are not going to give any kind of a positive impact on your interview results. But real life stories always give you a very good feedback. Very good feedback. So and try your best to keep the flow of the conversation. Don't disturb it, right? Try your best to be the flow of the conversation. Now, when you start from yourself, your introduction part with what you have really ready, now just see that you are really ready, and definitely you know that they will ask you to introduce yourself. So rather than telling the kindergarten explanation, kindergarten myself, you can tell that, okay, I'm a professionally qualified person in these areas, and this is the way I have dealt with the society. So I have given the leadership for these areas, and these projects I have completed. These innovations I have contributed. So this is who am I, right? So then from that point onward, the question will ask. So as much as possible, each and every question, if you can give a real life example, if you can give if you don't know, you can say that, sorry, I have not done that area and I'm not expertise on that, but I can learn it. So I'm a very good learner. So even in my university life, these areas which I was not expert, so I have learned later. Right now I know those things. So in company also, this area I don't know, but I can learn. I'm very good on learning. I can spend some time on learning. So that conversation should flow out. It's very important to flow out the conversation. Then, so another thing is do's and don'ts, right? As I said that, show your natural behavior. Don't go and show the artificial personality. Some people say that okay පොඩ්ඩක් පෙන්නන්න ඕන මම පොර කියලා ඉවරලා පපුව එහෙම ඉස්සරහට අරගෙන හුස්ම ටිකක් එහෙම අරගෙන තමයි කතා කරන්න try කරන්නේ. So ටික වෙලාවක් යද්දී so they will realize that this is not a natural behavior, right? And don't go and use the language which is not familiar to you, right? Godak dictionary words aragana dagana, don't go to show unnecessarily show your use your natural behavior where you are talking. Just stop. That's it. Don't jump on your answer before ending up the questions. Very common mistake. Very, very common mistake. When we ask the question half of the way, we start answering. Right? We want to say, oh, wait, I have not yet finished. So just wait. Give some 2 seconds to finish. So keep a small break on that. Just stop after stop mark only you have to stop. So don't jump in. Right? Otherwise, what will happen is unnecessarily you are going to jump and answer. It's going to be an issue. Keep focus until the last minute. So don't think that, okay, first half of the interview is very good, very comfortable. I'm really happy that the way it happened. But last length, you have not keep the momentum, right? So keep the momentum until end the interview, right? Not only the first part. As I said that you are well prepared in the first part and you can explain yourself and everything in the very proper way. When it comes to the last length, now the decision making is going to be happen. That until last minute you keep your focus and be patient. Sometimes some people can't be patient. So they jump and ask the question before the panel is asking a question. Right? Don't be panic. And sometimes you are going to give the answers for the next question as well in the same question. No, it's not. So do give the answer only whatever they ask. Right? So things they ask, you give the answer. So be patient until they ask the question. Right? You know the answer and still they didn't ask the question. Don't jump and tell that. Let wait till they come. If that question has not raised, the final at the latter stage before ended up this thing, they will ask that anything you want to ask from us. At that time, you can raise that concern, right? But don't jump middle off because you are not the person structure the interview. Interview is structured by the panel, not you. So use the time to prove yourself. So always you are getting this golden half an hour, right? Golden half an hour. So you get a half an hour to be. It's like a direct sale. Just imagine the direct sale. How much they are convincing to people to buy that, even though they don't have a requirement, necessity, they will buy it. So likewise, you are getting a golden half an hour. Use that time to sell yourself, show your colors and show your abilities, right? Speciality what we are having, how much you are unique, right? So it's very important. So anytime decision can be changed, right? So don't think that now first half is okay, so I'll get, right? So decision might be changed. Sometimes initial first 5-10 minutes, they feel that, okay, you are very good, very comfortable. But final 2-3 answers, they feel that, no, you are not the correct person. We are being the wrong way. So decision can be changed anytime. Remember that. So be ready and keep your focus until the last moment. And if possible, show your industry involvement and membership. Those are very important things. Sometimes you think that it's not relevant to tell that on all. But what we expect as a panel, whether you have some involvement with the industry, so the relevant other social contacts. So that's very important. How much you are engaged with, because in Sri Lankan context, most of the university students, they only do the degree, nothing else. right? And parents also say that don't do anything else, just do your O levels, A levels, degree, that's enough. No, there should be link between other things as well. How much you are dealing with society, how much you are competent to deal with the society, how much you have tolerate other people, how much you have contribute to other people to grow up, and how much you get inputs to you to growing up from the society. And those kind of things are very important. So if you have any industry involvement, any memberships, any associations, those kind of things you have to highlight. These things don't do. As I said, no too much explanation. Right? Last month, as I said, once we do the interview, in one of the person who's having 10 years experience, once he going to explain, he explained everything, which is relevant, not relevant, everything. So because of that, he didn't get the job. He had a very good knowledge, but unnecessary explanation, not focus. So what we are expecting is focus answer. Don't make prejudgment due to difficulty of the question. Now, if question is difficult, if you don't know, if you are not thorough on that, so tell that I'm not thorough on this area. Right? That might give you good marks rather than you are telling an unnecessary story. Right? If you are not sure about the question, if the question is very hard to understand, or if the question is really difficult to give the answer, so tell that no, I'm not comfortable. I don't know, right? Because we are not expecting you are a genius and you should know everything. There are some questions you can understand and answer. Some questions you are not able to answer. That's a very reasonable. So don't make prejudgments. And as I said that, keep the flow and don't disturb the flow. You are the person who's if you disturb the flow and get it a different way, finally interview will ended up with the unfavorable way to you. So keep the flow. So next question they will come up with, and you answer the relevant question. If you are unnecessarily going to be explained, the next question might be something totally different, right? So keep that, and no jokes, right? Judge panel, interview panel can make some jokes, but not for you, right? Remember that this is not the time to joke, because this is your life going to be changed with the decision of this interview. So some people are very funny and they just want to have a funny stories during the interview. It's not necessary at all, right? It's not necessary at all. Sometimes panel will be asked some of the funny questions, but not from your end. So don't highlight the personal relationships. Some people start interview. Why I'm telling that? Some people start. I'll give an example to you. Last week I had a management training interview, and one nice lady, 20 years old, and she just completed her degree in India. And so I was the only person who's been in the final interview. So I just had a chat with her, and she answered everything very, very well. So I was really happy about that. And I just asked as a final question, from where did you send your CV to Brandix? No, not that question. I asked that question, okay, can I know that, do you have any experience or any exposure about the apparel industry? So he said that he said that yes, I have my mother and father both are working over there. Then only I knew that her mother was the one of the DGM in our same organization. She didn't tell that at all. I was really wondering, but some people come and tell that relationship is the very first point. So it's a negative. So even though you have a relationship in the company, don't tell that at the beginning. If you want to highlight, you can highlight at the end, but don't tell in the beginning, because then interview panel will think that you are going to use that relationship to come to the company, right? Okay. As I said that there might be preliminary interviews, second interviews, and final interviews. So even though it's a preliminary or second or final, you have to get ready, right? The things which I have said that you have to do those things. Whether it's a preliminary interview or the second interview or the final interview, doesn't matter. You do your best in the whatever interview you are facing on, right? So there's a don't think that this is only preliminary. I don't want to get ready. Let me ready for the final interview. That's wrong impression, because to go to the final interview, you have to properly face the preliminary interview, and you have to face for the second interview. So this is a process, right? So don't think that whatever is important or not important. Okay, the final one is usual ending. Usual ending. So most of the interviews are going to end up with we'll let you know the outcome, or we'll keep in touch with you. Someone will call you, will call and contact you. So do you have any other questions? We have a series of interviews and we'll come back after completing everything. So those are the usual endings. So none of these things are giving you a permanent word. Don't think that it's negative or positive. That's the usual ending. And another thing what we are thinking, that when we ask that your salary expectation or your notice period or possible date of join, so you will think that now everything is complete, right? Okay, they have asked that what is the salary as well, and what is the service, the notice period, and when can I join, all the things. These are compulsory things in HR point of view. Asking your salary expectations is compulsory. We have to ask that. Notice period, we have to ask that. Possible date of join, we have to ask that. So those are not the indications you have passed your interview. Don't get it wrong. Huh? Those are not the things. So at the end of the interview, so they will definitely tell that usual ending. And if you want to clarify anything at that ending point, you have to highlight. You have to ask that. So definitely post discussion only, it will decide. Generally within a week, you will get the results of the interview. So that's it from my side. Now your time to be. So we have used 1.5 hours. Good. So it's up to you to ask any question if you want any clarification.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, Ravidu.
Sir, how do we prepare our certificate file properly to the interview?
Generally, nowadays, certificates are not checking in the interview, right? Because certificate checking is a different process. So if you want to, if you are going for personally physical interviews, you are taking your certificate file. So what you have to do is you have to prepare that according to your CV. So according to your CV, how you have kept the order, same order you have to keep in your certificate file as well. And don't put unnecessary certificates. Some people are taking the Daham Pasale, Katika Tarangekai, Arakai, Mekai, lot of unnecessary things. Take your key certificates, right? Don't get the 100 meters Dupai. Don't get unnecessary certificates. Only the key certificate, your education key certificates as per the CV, and your extracurricular key certificates. Those, and if you have a service certificates, that's the things we are expecting.
Okay,
don't do that.
Thank you, sir. Got it.
Okay. Any other questions? Very rarely Sri Lankan students are asking questions. Doesn't matter whatever language. If you want to ask from Sinhala, I'm very much competent to answer in Sinhala as well. So don't make a barrier with the language, but try your best to get something out.
So how do we tell about our expected salary?
thing is that when you have a very good question, when you go for a job, you should know that what is the market salary. That's why we are asking from you the expected salary as well. So you should know that how much is for a graduate trainee market salary. So you can say that my expectation is this, but I'm okay to adhere to the company policy, right? So if you don't have expectation, that's not good, because you have to tell some amount how much you are valued. So you have to do a small background work and find that how much pay for this company for this position. There are very standard salary scales in each and every company.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Welcome. Anything else?
Excuse me, sir. What kind of referees do they expect from us?
That's one of the very important part. If you can give somebody in an industry, it's very valuable, right? So most of the graduate trainees, we are getting CVs, you are putting referees in your lecturers' names. That doesn't matter, doesn't matter. But if you can give a one-off from the academic and one-off from the industry, it's very important, right? Because we are looking for the non-related referees, because we need to have an independent, we want that. So if you can mix it up, it's very important. We want somebody from the industry is very important, some industry. So you can use one academic and one professional. But it's a must, huh? Anything else?
Sir?
Yeah.
If the interviewer asks what are your weaknesses, how we can answer that?
Yeah. So everybody should have your SWOT analysis in your life now. If you take myself, right? If you take myself, I'm very good on working with the people and identify needs of the people and all. But I'm weak on sometimes. I'm not a person analytical, right? Because when you are doing HR, even though I have a background with the finance, so when I have not did any kind of analytical works last few years. So now my analytical mindset is a bit of a not up to the level. So that because of my professionalism, right? So I could have said that, okay, I'm very good on people side and identify people behavior and all these kind of things, but my analytical is not up to the level of other people sometimes, because I have not used those things. So sometimes you can say that, okay, I'm very good on everything, but sometimes I'm getting a bit nervous some of the things, which I have to be corrected myself on that. So you know your SWOT analysis, right? So if you have identified anything, doesn't matter. You tell that this area I have to be improved, right? I have to be improved. I know that. It's very important that you to be identify your weaknesses. And some people think, "Mama okkoma dannawa," right? But they don't know they have a weakness. Everybody is having a weakness. Something, right? So sometimes you are over trusting people. That's a weakness, right? So you should know that your weaknesses, and that has to tell that. Anything?
Sir, excuse me, sir. What kind of extracurricular activities do they expect from us? I mean, sports or club activities?
No, what it says, whatever extracurricular you have done, you have to put it that. It's very important us to identify that, except to your professional qualifications or the academic qualification, how you have engaged with the society. right? As I said, that the practical examples. You just imagine that if you are leading your, if you are participating, just imagine sometimes you are a good swimmer, but sometimes you are a good football player. The two different things. No, your swimmer says you are an individual performer. You are not dealing with anybody else. You are individually, but you are very good on. Then if you are a national level swimmer, we know that you are very much of compromise, and you can do something keeping your targets and achieving your targets, very good on that. But if you are a football player, what it says that you are a team player. Right? Taniyam football ka handa bani, taniyam cricket ka handa bani. So you know that you how to deal with other people. So that's one of the indicator. Or else you are a president of the Commerce Society, Cali University. It says that you are a person who can engage with the people, and you enjoy that. So different job needs having a different requirements. Now just say if you are taking an IT person, we are not required a person who's being with the other, associate with other people and all, because his job is not that. But if you are going to recruit a marketeer, definitely we are looking for somebody who's being with the society, deal with the society. So your extracurricular is the only way you can prove that practically whether you have that capacity or not. You got my point?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sir, if they ask anything about like, do you like to work in Saturdays? Likewise, how do we answer for that question?
And as a graduate trainee, you don't have option. You have to say yes, right? Because most of the organization expecting people who can work. And one thing, don't go and say that I just completed my degree, I am going to start my master's. Very common mistake. To do your master's, first you have to work minimum 2 to 3 years in industry to get experience. Otherwise, master's is another kind of a degree only. What gives to you? So your first degree is teaching you the principles. Master's is how to apply in the industry. So without knowing the industry, how you are going to do the master's, right? So one thing, most of the time people are telling that, no, so I'm going to start the master's immediately. No, you have to tell that I have idea to continue my master's, but after getting an industry experience. That's one of the way. And second thing is, hours, as you asked from me, if they want to get it done the work in Saturdays, you have to tell yes, otherwise you're not getting the job, honestly. I don't want to hide that, because that's the job requirement. So you can ask that, do this job is having that requirement to work on a Sunday, right? So they mostly say that no Sunday, but Saturday might be, right? So then you can say, yes, I'm okay with that, because that question you have raised and asked, right? If they raise, definitely yes. No. If you say no job at all.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, so if you don't have any other questions, we can wind up. So over to the organizing committee and can wind up. I'm sorry that I have taken 15 minutes more, but it's important that I have to tell this thing, otherwise it's not complete.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can I have your contact details or something?
I'll send it to the I'll send it to the organizing committee. You can take it from there.
Okay.
But for the moment, I don't have any jobs in my hand. Otherwise, don't start sending the CVs to me tomorrow. But if anyone wants to have when you're going for an interview, if you want to have something, so you can contact me. Weekdays, I'm not that much free, because weekdays I'm really busy with sometimes, but I can help you. So I'll send my email address to the organizing committee, and so then you can take my email from there. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, organizing committee can finish.
Thank you so much, Mr. Akash Hettiarachchi. So we have come to the end of today's session, and I would like to invite Hiruni Madhubhashini, the Secretary of Commerce Club, the Department of Commerce and Financial Management, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Apsari. Good morning, everyone. I deemed it a great honor to propose vote of thanks here today. So, to remark the end of 7th session of Commerce 101, firstly, I thank Mr. Akash Hettiarachchi, General Manager HR, Brandix Apparel Solutions Limited, who enlightened our undergraduates with his knowledge. Next, Dr. M. Shamil, Head of Department of Commerce and Financial Management, who despite his busy schedule to join here today. Then my thanks goes to Dr. Tishani Herath, Stream Coordinator, and Mr. Sachit Ranasinghe, Senior Treasurer of Commerce Club, for the words of encouragement. Finally, I express my thanks to all the lecturers of Department of Commerce and Financial Management and all the participants joined with us today. Once again, thank you everyone and stay safe.
Thank you.